the meeting of the Mobile City Planning Commission for Thursday, June 18th, 2020. General procedures for this remote meeting are as follows. I will announce an application. If a member of the public will attend the meeting, staff will announce their attendance and admit them at this time. For items where no one from the public is attending, staff will give an overview, including any information regarding feedback from the applicant or other interested parties. I will then open the meeting for discussion by the commission members. After discussion, I will call for a motion, a second, and then we will vote. If there is a question regarding the vote, we will do a roll call vote. After the vote, we will move to the next item. Commission members and staff, please remember to keep your microphone on mute unless you are speaking to the meeting attendees. I will now call roll. Taylor Atchison.
Here.
Matt Anderson.
Here.
Don Hembry.
Here.
Jay Stubbs.
Here.
I'm Jennifer Denson. Nick Amberger?
Here.
Okay. I believe that is all of the commissioners that we have present, and we have a quorum.
Yes.
So we will begin with our agenda. The first item is a holdover. 3115. Yes, I'm sorry.
We need to have the adoption of the agenda as the minimum under the authority of the Planning Commission.
Yes, thank you. I move to adopt the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The agenda is adopted. So moving on to our first item, 3154 Cottage Hill Road. This application has been recommended for approval subject to certain conditions. Ms. Pat, go ahead.
Yeah. We have received feedback from Eric Jackson, the applicant for this item, and they are in agreement with the staff's recommended conditions.
Is there a motion?
Any response from the adjoining property owners?
No, sir, none.
Move to approve based on staff recommendations.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes. The second item, a new subdivision application, 952 Elmira Street and 408 Marine Street. This has been recommended for approval based on staff recommendations.
And
recommended for tentative approval subject to conditions. Ms. Pappas?
the applicant, Paul Stewart, is in agreement with staff recommendations, and we received no opposition.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Having been properly moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The motion passes. Moving to number 3, 111 Canal Street. Again, recommended for tentative approval subject to the following conditions.
So moved.
Hold on. I just wanted to let you know the applicant is in the waiting room. He would like the opportunity to speak if he's needed. Hold on, let me admit him.
Margaret, the only question that I had was there's mention about the sidewalk waiver being taken care of at a later date when construction starts. That doesn't need to be part of the subdivision.
No, sir. It would still require the second, another application, that actual sidewalk waiver application. It cannot be considered as a part of this application. I have admitted Lee Rambo into the meeting. Lee, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Denson, Mr. Rambo's in the meeting. If the commission had any questions for him regarding this application.
Okay, thank you. Does the commission have any questions for Mr. Rambo? Okay. Mr. Rambo, did you have any comments that you felt necessary to make?
No, ma'am. We're in agreement with the condition.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion on the application?
Move to approve subject to staff recommendations.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, or I'm sorry, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Okay, let me move him out. All right. The next application, we had someone signed up to speak with their concerns. However, they have not entered the waiting room, I don't believe, but I'm going to go ahead and admit the applicant.
Okay. And this is number 4, group applications, 2100 North University Boulevard. There's a subdivision, a planned unit development, and a planning approval portion to this, and a rezoning involved in this application.
Correct.
And all have been recommended for approval, subject to certain conditions on each item.
That is correct. Sorry. We have Mr. Cunningham, who is the engineer for the project. It appears he may be having issues with his audio. The gentleman who's identified as Right Way Christian Center, if you could give your name for the record, please, sir.
Vincent Robinson, I'm the pastor.
Hello.
All right. Ms. Denson, again, we did have someone that asked to speak at the meeting that was not associated with the application. They are not participating, and we did not receive any specific comments or concerns.
Okay.
So at this point, I think the commission should ask the applicant if they have any concerns regarding the recommendations and proceed from there.
All right, thank you. Does Mr. Cummings or Mr. Robinson, do y'all have any concerns with the recommendations? Are you in agreement with the staff recommendations on all the different items?
I am.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Mr. Chairman, can we take these items one at a time?
Absolutely. Did Mr. Cummings, did his audio get resolved? Mr. Cunningham?
It should be.
Mr. Cunningham, did you have any comments, or do you accept the staff recommendations? I'm not hearing anything from him.
Mr. Cunningham is the engineer, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and Pastor I guess he's the actual applicant, so he said he's fine with the recommendations, correct?
Right. So we will just go with that. So let's take A, the subdivision.
Move to approve based on staff recommendations.
Second.
Any discussion? Properly moved and seconded. The motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. B, the PUD.
Move to approve adopting finding of facts A, B, D, and E.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Item C, the planning approval.
Move to approve based on staff recommendations, findings of facts A and B.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And the final number or letter D, the rezoning from a resident R1 single family residential to a B1 business buffer district.
Move to approve based on staff recommendations.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I'd just like to thank the pastor for developing this property. I'm excited to finally see that parcel being developed. It's been vacant for, well, forever. So,
We're very excited, and we're even, a lot of the stuff that's going to be on the campus is actually to improve and bring change to the community. We have a walking park, a food pantry that we're already doing now at our location, but it's going to be even bigger. We'll have a walk-in freezer where we can keep frozen items and refrigerated items to add to the boxes of food that we give away. We're unable to do that where we are, so we have to give them a card so that they can go and buy the meat and frozen items. So amphitheater will be there. So we're very excited about it. And thank you all so much for hearing this out.
it's a great piece of property. Good luck with it.
Thank you, sir.
Pastor, I would encourage you too to encourage your engineer, to reach out to the permitting department real early on. Obviously, there's a lot of land disturbing activities are going to take place, and so we hope you get off to a good start and stay in that. And you're adjacent to wetlands, and you're going to be having a lot of tree clearing and a lot of dirt turning, and so it's good to have those conversations early.
I took a note of that. Yes, sir, I will tell him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The motion's been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And that ends our new business, but I believe that we have other business that we would like to present to the commission. The schedule of meeting dates from September 2020 through August 2021.
Correct. I would just point out it's following this pretty much the format the commission has been accustomed to, the first and third Thursdays of the month, with the exception of July. There will only be proposed one meeting in July. The other deviation, and this is something new, the first meeting in February, we are proposing for a Wednesday. We've been looking at the Mardi Gras schedules, and with street closures occurring early, there have been a few meetings where we've had some hand wringing as to whether or not we would have the meeting complete and be able to get out in time. So we've made that adjustment.
We've also got one on January 9th. No, sorry, that's February 18th. That's just the deadline for it.
The other meeting in February, quite honestly, will be the day after Ash Wednesday.
You mean February 3rd will be?
No, February 18th, that'll be the third Wednesday in the month, which will be, the third Thursday of the month, which will be the day after Ash Wednesday.
Okay.
Well, Margaret, would it be possible to have someone send us calendar invites so all these dates drop in our schedule? I think that way y'all might have a better idea of who's going to be able to attend a little earlier than sending out emails.
Okay. They will be via Outlook. I will be glad to do that. The one thing, because I will probably automatically set them to go for the first and third Thursdays. I'll then go back and remove, those 2 dates and make the adjustment, but I'll do that happily.
I know it's painful, but when Karen in the mayor's office tries to schedule those things, unless they do reoccur perfectly every 2 weeks, she literally has to go there and schedule them one at a time. So I know that's
Okay.
I know that's painful, but it makes it better if something has to change.
No, it has to go on our schedules anyway, so it's easy to add.
Thank you.
That would be very helpful. Thank you. So I believe you would like for us to adopt this today. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
I will move to adopt the proposed schedule for 2020 to 2021 for our meeting and deadlines.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the meeting and deadline schedule is approved. It's passed. Is there anything else that you would like for us to address or anything else for the agenda, Ms. Pappas?
No, ma'am. The only thing I will say is unless there is an unforeseen change, we will hope to see everyone in person at the July meeting.
And remind me the date of that one. I'm sorry. I can look it up, but I just didn't. That would be the 2nd?
No, you have one meeting in July.
Oh, that's right.
That will be the July 16th.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Thank you all very much. I will adjourn the meeting.
Thanks.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
Margaret,
you. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.